Yo, I just came up here really to speak to myself, but also to hopefully bring some awareness to a situation in not our community, our human community, mainly in the returns of relationships. Right now, if you go to your favorite social media outlet, you'll hear a lot of people talking about what men should do and what women should do, and what what's a good man and how to attract your mate. For men, it's usually people talking about you have to make a lot of money and or have a certain physique and be the top 1%. And then I hear on the woman's side, because you're so attractive, you should have a guy who showers you with gifts. And I'm sure there's a lot of, I'm going to the extremes of both sides, but I came on because I just wanted to understand, why do we think because I make money as a man that guarantees me a mate, or because I'm very attractive as a woman that guarantees me a mate? That will get you access to the door, right? That'll get you attention, get you a first date, and get you, an exchange of information, phone numbers, what have you, DMs, what have you. But we've been brought up in this society nowadays, because I think mainly social media, to pursue things and status and ego. For men, if you have a very attractive woman, and like I'm going to use a biblical example. Don't care if you believe or not, it's just an example. Samson was awestruck by a woman named Delilah, and Delilah spoke to his ego. That's all of us, as far as men or women, but particularly fellas. I think we love it when we have an attractive female who caters to our ego, and whatever that ego value system is. For some, it's having that old school paradigm of a woman who cooks and cleans and waits on you hands and foot. And that's great. But if your relationship is quantifiable and measurable on those type of things, well, you better bring in the bacon, right? If you get a layoff or happen to fall short financially, then your self-value may drop, or her esteem of you may drop. So that's at least how it's promoted. I'm not saying that's how it is. I don't believe it should be that way. However, that's what is promoted. And many men are led astray, and women are led astray in thinking this is what you must do to attract a mate. It will, if those are the terms that you have with that mate, then understand your relationship can only go so far. However, if your terms are things like, I don't know, how do you believe in treating people? What are your thoughts on family? What are your thoughts on your beliefs? What are your ideas of finances? How do you, your moral fiber, if you would, those type of things. And yes, she does have to possess, or he does have to possess something that catches your eye physically. Let's be real. We do like people to look a certain way. Everyone has their own scale of attraction. Then you're talking, right? If I can talk to you about, hey, one thing, we relate because we both like a certain philosopher, or we relate because we both are about advancing and helping others. Okay, that brings us together, as well as the person looks good. Now, what's going to keep us together? The basics should be provision, right? You should be able to provide for your partner, and she will support you in that, or he will support you back. Because guess what, guys? There are women out here who are making way more than you. And we say these women are, quote unquote, according to the experts, they are digging too high or aiming too high, and they are, I don't know, not desirable because they need to accept that they have pursued their God of employment and advancement. Well, that's because a lot of us guys have been in prison. A lot of us guys have fallen short, or a lot of us guys who are successful, because it's our good men out there, are off the block. Or if they're on the block, they're not into a serious relationship because they don't want to, or they have an idea that they have to dominate women because of an environmental upbringing, maybe their parents, Their father might have been that way, their uncles, their community, their school system. I mean, the media promotes the male patriarchal dominance in our world to the nth degree. And then you have on the women's side, the video vixen type of woman who's voluptuous and curvy, you know, for lack of a better term, a Kardashian or whomever celebrity you want to plug in there that's popular at the moment that looks a certain way, that we say, okay, I must get that as a man, or as a woman, I must get this guy over here. So you forget about the moral fiber. You forget about, do they care about their family? How do they treat their parents? How do they treat their siblings? How do they treat women or people in society? How do they treat, what are their views on kids? All of these things that you normally would try to figure out, you scrap to the table because they look good, the sex is great, they're financially well off, and they help you look a certain way in society. When you post those Instagram trips on vacation overseas, and you have the big yacht, or you have the whatever status symbol, nice cars, my Birkin bag, or the guy might have had his new Lambo or what have you, those things are great, but what are they saying about you? That says about what you've accomplished and things that you've got. But if I strip you of your wealth, or if I strip you of your gold, or if I strip you of your flossy cars, or your say, God forbid, you get into an accident, now your face is scarred as a female, or your body is not able, you're not able to work out the way you used to. What happens to the relationship? What happens if you get laid off from your job? What happens if the stock market plummets and your nest egg has gone away? What happens? Do you have a relationship? Is there anything left after that? What if you're not in those situations, but you're the people who live for your kids, and you become empty nesters because your kids are out the house? Okay, there's no more things to separate you, as far as, so I got to take Johnny to practice, or got to take Denise to the violin classes or ballet classes. So now, what's left in your relationship since you're not hustling for your kids to keep yourself busy for one another? Do you know how to talk to one another? I wonder. Don't let this society fool you. Don't let the media, the gurus, hell, even me. I'm just a guy. I've been married once, didn't do well at it, got married again, doing pretty good. We've been together for 10 years, married 3. But I try to ask myself, am I fulfilling my part of the bargain? Am I inspecting what I'm expecting out of my spouse? Most times we don't even talk to our spouse to know what they want. I just ask you guys, man, think about what you want, and if you're fulfilling what you are asking or requiring out of others. That's all. Peace and blessings. Take care.